little disappointed in myself. I'm really unprepared for this tournament. I'm really nervous about it. I don't know what's going on up there. I've done very little research. I was really nervous about this one. Really, really nervous. This is going to be a true test for myself. You know, am I a better angler now than I was a year ago? If I go up here and do not have a good day, that's going to really set me back. I got no idea what this lake is doing.
Oh man,
That's just some really good stuff.
it's aggravating, isn't it?
I've been sitting here for 30 minutes trying to figure out how to start this video, how to talk about it, how to talk about how I utterly failed this past weekend at Smith Mountain Lake. And this is one of those videos that I just do not want to make. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I just kind of want to move on from it. But I think it's important for me to share how bad I sucked. It's important for me to hear myself say, this is why I failed. And while I might not be able to put my finger on one exact reason, I think it was a whole lot of little things. Primarily, my failure to prepare. You know, you can't just go to a lake that you've only been to one time before and expect to show up and catch fish. And I think that's kind of what I did. I'm not saying I was a little cocky or overconfident. I just did not put in the time and the preparation that was needed in order to be successful in a big tournament like a BFL. So I didn't start preparing for Smith Mountain Lake until basically the Thursday before, until I got there and I wanted to practice, and I just did not prepare. I did not prepare for this tournament the way I have for others. I didn't put in the time on the water. I didn't put in the time looking at maps, researching past tournaments, researching what they're eating right now, researching seasonal tendencies. I didn't put in any time for any of that. I kind of just said to myself, I'll show up on Thursday, we'll get bit a couple of times, we'll figure out a pattern, and then we'll go from there. Well, the bites never came. I never got bit in practice, really. I think I caught one short keeper on Thursday and 2 fish on Friday. It was just not good. I couldn't figure out a pattern. I couldn't figure out a color. I couldn't figure out where I should go. You know, the lake's kind of big, so I mean, it's 20,000 acres or so or more, I think. So it's a lot of water to cover, and there's sort of 3 different sections to choose from. So I kind of chose the Roanoke side of the lake, and I stuck a lot of time in there, and I could not find a pattern. I could not find anything, a location where they were eating better. Are they on points? Are they on these channel swings? Are they sitting over, suspended over 30 foot of water? Are they under docks? I couldn't figure any of that out. The only thing that I know for sure about Smith Mountain Lake right now is that there are a ton of brim in 2 foot of water or less. I mean, just an unreal amount of brim. The brim are definitely up shallow, and I'm thinking, all these brim are up shallow, you can see them swimming. There's got to be bass really close by. Not once did I catch a bass on a brim bed. Not once did I catch a bass, around brim or where they should be. So looking back, what I think is going on was the shad spawn. I think these fish are eating on shad all night long into the wee early hours of the morning till about 6:30 in the morning when the sun comes up good, and then they're not eating for the rest of the day because they're filled up on shad. I honestly think that's what the deal is, and I could not get bit. I'm disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed that I couldn't put a better performance together. I'm disappointed that I couldn't catch a limit. I'm just, overall, this is a tournament that I want to forget. Well, I shouldn't forget it, because I need to remember what that 4-hour drive home feels like, only weighing in 1 fish. And yes, I did weigh in 1 fish, but that's not acceptable to me. I'm far past the point in my career where I should be, oh, well, good, I weighed in one fish. Let's get some points and move on to the next one. I'm past that. You know, looking back at my preview videos for Carr Lake and Smith Mountain Lake, that was my goal. Just catch one fish, get some points. But truthfully, we're past that, man. We are to the point where we need to be performing at a consistent level every tournament. And if I can't do that, then we really need to kind of analyze what we're doing here. And there's no excuses. There's no excuses for me not putting in the time on the water, number one. Number two, not putting in the research. You know, preparing for a tournament goes far more than just time on the water. I mean, there's lots of other things that need to be done. You have to research the lake. You have to look at water levels. You have to work at, if it's a dam lake, you have to look at dam schedules. You have to look at, there's a lot of things that go in. People think you can just show up and fish. It's a lot more than that, a whole lot more. And overall, I'm just disappointed. It was a long ride home. It was a super long ride up there. You know, I was working on, like, my sleep over the 3 days up there was just so, dude, I did not get much sleep because I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, took the 4-hour drive up there, fished, you know, hard for all day. I didn't get in until 8 o'clock Thursday night. You know, stayed up till 12 messing around, got up at 5 again. So you know, and then on tournament day, you get up at 4:30. It's just no sleep, just no sleep. And by the end of the tournament on Saturday, I was just wiped. I was just so exhausted. I came home, I drove 4 hours home, and I think I slept for like 15 hours straight. It was rough. It was rough. And, like I said, I'm just disappointed, and I'm just disappointed at myself because I didn't prepare for this tournament like I should have. You know, I just bought a new boat, so I spent more time on my new boat tinkering around with all the new boat toys than actually preparing for a tournament. And it showed. It's embarrassing. It really is. It's embarrassing for somebody to put so much into fishing these BFLs to only weigh in one fish. But we should at least talk about that one fish. Here, just watch this clip.
Good.
Oh, get in. We can save. I think it's 14 too.
You look like it.
Holy smokes. Dang, he's still popping. Wow. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Oh, measure him 3 times just to make sure he's right there on it. 14 and a half. How about that? I appreciate the.
I get an assist though.
I tell you what, yes you did.
So what happened here? I'm cranking, and this is about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm throwing a crankbait, and this fish eats it right at the boat. And I never use a net anyway, so I'm used to boat flipping fish. But there wasn't time to use a net, but this fish eats it right at the boat, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and boat flip him. He wasn't that big, it's, you know, line burner, like 14 and a half inches or so. And so I go to flip him into the boat, and as I'm flipping him, he comes off the hook, and he lands on the edge of the boat. And at this point, there's a 50-50 shot. This fish could either bounce back into the water, and he's gone forever, or into the boat. So he teeters on the edge and bounces off my co-angler's rods. He's just sitting there. All he's got to do is flop one time, and he's going back in the water. Co-angler reaches down, puts a little bit of pressure on him, and then by that time I jump down and I've got him. So I don't know how or when or you know what's going to happen, but I feel like at the end of the season that is going to be a very important fish, because that fish kept me from zeroing. And if I zero in this tournament and don't get any of these points, oh my goodness, it's really bad. That's like worst case scenario. So I got the lucky bounce with this fish. I did weigh him in. I did get much needed points, but I dropped from 25th in the point standings to 45th. Now the top 45 is where we need to be to get to the Potomac, but that's the bare minimum. You know, I don't want to do the bare minimum. I want to do much better than the bare minimum. But that one fish, I mean, it was 50-50, could have bounced either way, and luckily it bounced my way. You know, I don't even know I really just don't want to talk about this tournament anymore. I really don't. I'm ready to move on from it, use it as a learning experience, and in the back of my mind know that going forward, you cannot show up and expect to do this. This takes weeks of preparation. This takes lots of time. You have to want to do good in these tournaments to you have to prepare. I don't even know what I'm trying to say now. I'm just so disappointed in myself and how this went down that I'm just ready to move past it. I'm ready to get to High Rock. That's where we go next in June, and you know, I'm hoping to make up some ground there. You know, I don't know. We're just gonna move on from this. It was miserable. I had a miserable time, and because I could not find any fish to eat. I didn't know what to throw. I didn't know if I should be power fishing. I didn't know if I should be finesse fishing. I didn't know if I should be throwing a drop shot on 6-pound line. I didn't know if I needed to be throwing a spinner bait. I didn't know if I needed to be throwing a swim. I didn't know because I couldn't get bit. And if I had to say, I would say that I was fishing all the right things, all the right techniques, but I was probably in a bad location. It's almost like maybe these fish are grouped up or something, and I was just in the wrong place. So, you know, I don't know. I struggled, sucked. I sucked. My preparation sucked. The whole thing sucked. And you know, we'll learn from it. We'll move on from it. And but we're certainly to a point in our career where we should not be satisfied with weighing in one fish, and I'm not at all satisfied. I am actually very upset at myself, and I'm going to do everything in my power not to let it happen anymore. You know, these sorry tournaments where I'm weighing in one fish, two fish. I mean, it's not good anymore. We're at a point in our career where we should really be consistent, where we should be at the top of the field every tournament. And that's where I should be, and I'm not there. I'm not there yet. And if I can't get there, we really need to have a long, hard discussion. So we have 3 tournaments left this year to kind of get back on track, get ourselves to the Potomac, and then from there, all bets are off. That's the ultimate goal, is just to get to the Potomac and make some noise there. That's what we want to do. But on the way there, you know, I will say this, you know, we fished 13 FLW events so far, and I finished in the money once. I mean, that's 1 in 13. That's not good. So we're gonna. I don't know what I need to do. I don't know. It's just I'm just at a loss of words. I think for the first time in my YouTube career since I've been posting videos, I'm at a loss. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. All I can tell you is that I sucked on Smith Mountain Lake. And we go back there in September, and I'm really looking for a little bit of redemption. I'm really looking for a little bit of payback, and just to have an opportunity to make up for this lackluster performance this past weekend. So that's where we are right now. That's what's going on. We're in 45th. Heading to High Rock next month. Big tournament there. A lot will be on the line up there. I'm looking forward to it. I've already started, you know, planning everything that goes into fishing a BFL up there. That's it. That's all I got. Appreciate you guys watching, and appreciate you supporting me. You know, and we'll be back. We'll be back at High Rock. I'll see you soon.